Hi, I'm Aslam Moolla and I'm a CCMA and labor lawyer. In today's video, we're going to be talking about employment contracts. Is it a legal requirement to have an employment contract, and what should be in an employment contract? And number three, what are the consequences for an employer who does not have an employment contract? Let's get started. What is an employment contract? As the name implies, it is a contract entered into between the employer and the employee regarding the work relationship. What should be in the employment contract? Basically, information about the employer and the employee. That's the first one. Number two, the job description of the employee. Very important. What is expected from the employee? What work is expected? What are the standards expected of him or her? That must be clearly spelled out in the employment contract. Number three, the salary that is going to be paid to the employee. How much will it be paid, and when will the salary be paid, and what will be in the salary? Is it pension fund, etc.? Things like that. Number four, hours of work. The employer and employee must agree on the hours of work. Is it Monday to Friday, 8 to 5? Will it include Saturdays? That must be clearly indicated in the contract. The next thing is payment of overtime. Very important. That is a major issue of dispute between employers and employees. And I think it must be clearly stipulated in the contract. Will overtime be paid? If so, how will it be calculated? The next point is leave days. How many sick leave days do you get? How many annual leave days do you get? Maternity leave. Will it be paid maternity leave? When can you take the leave? Things like that must be discussed in the employment contract. And the last one is notice period. That means how much of notice should the employee give if he or she wants to resign from work. Very important. Now, if you are an employer, make sure that you have proper employment contracts in place, because if you don't, the consequences are quite serious to your business. An inspector from the Department of Labor can walk into your business at any reasonable time and request to see your employment contracts, your health and safety policies, and even your employment equity plan if that is a requirement for your business. And if you don't have those things in place, you run the risk of a demand for compliance from the Department of Labor, or even a fine being issued against you. So it's very important to make sure that you have written contracts of employment. If you are an employee, make sure that you read your contracts carefully. Look for things like restraint of trade. If it is in your contract, try and negotiate yourself to limit the period, because the restraint of trade would actually prevent you from working in your industry if you resign or you get fired. So those are some of the important issues when it comes to employment contracts. Today we looked at what is an employment contract, what should be in an employment contract, and what are the consequences for not having employment contracts. Of course, if you need help in your particular situation, you're more than welcome to click the link below and book an appointment with our office. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.